Greetings, fellow scribes! Welcome back to the Archive! This week, it's time for an installment of Archival GMing, where I give GM tips based on my experiences over all my years gaming. This week, I'm talking about how to run effective combat, and the sort of guidelines you want to use when you are running combat. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we talk about rolling dice and bashing heads. So first, let me say that I am a story-based GM. I tend to dislike combat because, for the most part, combat is a bunch of people sitting around rolling numbers and generally does not contribute meaningfully to a story. It's something there for the players who want some violence in their RPGs to have some violence in their RPGs. I mean, I have run entire campaigns where there was not a single bit of violence. And then I have run ones where every single session was a bloodbath. But, generally speaking, since I don't really like combat, and my goal is always to get past combat as quickly as possible, I have 4 simple rules for handling combat. First rule is keep it moving. Do whatever it takes to keep it moving. Do not let a player bog it down. So when you're going around the table in initiative order and you've got the player who's like, when you come to him, do whatever it takes to keep him moving. Ask him, what are you doing? If he doesn't respond, ask him a second time. Sum up what's happening. So, person behind you just did this. What are you doing? The NPCs are here, here, and here. Tell me what you're doing. How are you dealing with this? If they're still saying they're going, then go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're delaying action, move to the next person. Even if the system doesn't have a delaying action option, they're delaying their action. And you'll come back to them after everyone else has gotten their action in. Now then, you also want to apply this to your NPCs, which leads to the second rule. Combine dice rolls. And yes, if PCs can do this, let them do it too. Like, if a character has something that lets them roll defense, and they have multiple die sets to do that, tell them, I need you to roll defense 5 times for me, because I'm going to have 5 NPCs hit you. And that falls into this thing of, these 5 NPCs are hitting him. You can do single rolls, or you can actually just look and go, the odds of the NPC hitting him are astronomical. I'm not going to have this one roll. I'm not going to have this one roll. Trim them down like that. Anytime you don't have to roll dice is good. And this is really, really important for any GM to realize. You do not need to roll dice all the time. Sometimes you can literally look at, this guy has an attack of +1. The PC that he's attacking has an armor class of 20. I ain't gonna hit that. Or, in a classic L5R game, you're like, this guy is keeping only 2 dice, and I'm attacking someone with a 5 reflexes, I'm not likely going to hit them, because their armor TN is way above what I am even likely to roll, unless I roll crazy good. This is just some weakling. I don't care. Alright, he swings and misses at you. Boom. Just do it like that. Don't even bother working out his dice pool. Because your goal here is to reduce your number of rolls. Of course, you have to kind of know the rules fairly well, which leads to the third rule. That it is okay to not know the rules, not look something up, and make us on-the-spot ruling. Or, to summarize it, it is okay to make a snap rules decision. Once you make that snap rules decision, you want to make it within the spirit of the rules. Like, you don't want something that's going to give a PC a huge advantage just because you didn't know the rule. You don't want to give something that makes an NPC a killer because you didn't know the rule. And let's face it, sometimes rules are really bloody obscure in the core books or the supplements, and so finding a rule can take a long time. I recently had an experience where a GM took 15 minutes looking up how to handle dynamite. That sort of thing bogs the game down. So instead, what you do is go, oh, well, dynamite has... You just make a snap decision based on how you've seen the system work. So you're going to have a big explosion here, and it's going to kind of quickly drop off, type thing. Do less damage as it gets out. Now that's probably right, because that's how most games handle explosives. But you might have the radius wrong. And then, next session you can go, hey guys, so here's what happened. I actually looked it up after the game when I had time, and I was actually wrong. Dynamite drops off every 10 feet instead of every 15. No one died, so it's not a big deal, but do you want me to keep dynamite at 15 feet blast radius? Or do you want me to keep it down or put it back to 10? Or do we want to go that this was special dynamite? Because in some games, you can make things special. It was probably Ghost Rock infused dynamite in a Deadlands game. That's one way you can handle that. And that's the thing. Just make the decision. If you can't find something within a minute, just make a decision. Don't sit on it. Don't keep trying to find, I'm going to find the right rule even if it kills you, type response. Just do it. Just make a call. Of course, this does lead to the fourth and probably least important, or most important, depending on your table, rule. Know your player's rules. If your players have if you're in a Deadlands game and your player has a Hexslinger, you should probably know how hex slinging works, so you don't have to look up how it works in the middle of a fight. If you're in a Star Wars game and one of your players uses two lightsabers, two paired lightsabers with the paired hilt modification, you should probably know all the rules for how using two weapons work. If you have a player who's a cleric in a Pathfinder 2nd Edition game, you should know how heal works. The 3 steps to it. The one action, I heal one person that I can touch. Spend 2 actions, I can heal a person X number of feet away, and I heal extra to them. 3 actions, I heal everyone within a certain radius. That my dice plus that extra. Bam! That, and you should know that you can cast 2 of the same spell in the same round, so that someone could do, I'm healing this person who I'm standing right next to. That barbarian who's knee deep in the enemy, I'm going to range heal him. Because you need to know that A, the players can do something like that, and B, the player probably will do something like that. Because that is the way of players. Is there something abusive and really, really pushing the rules that they can do? They're going to do it. So you should know exactly what a PC is capable of. Or at least know the types of things that they might think about. Because, of course, there's the old rule. That's sort of the rule 0 of combat. But the most important rule, and the rule that you'd always remember: no plan survives contact with the PCs. So, to sum up, Rule 1, keep it moving. Rule 2, combine or reduce dice rolls wherever you can. Rule 3, it's okay to make a snap rules call. Rule 4, know your PC's rules, because quite frankly, the players are probably going to know those rules too. And of course, Rule 0, the most important rule: no plan survives contact with the players. Next week, I'm going to look at one of my latest acquisitions in RPGs. I'm going to take a quick look at Wrath and Glory, the Warhammer 40k RPG. This is not going to be a normal in-depth video, mostly because this is just something I'm kind of intrigued about and I kind of want to look at. It's not going to be one of my series videos, my standard RPG series videos either. It's basically going to be I'm going to be taking a look at it and just discussing things that really stand out about it to me. And basically an honest review. Not my normal look at things detached and such. So, until next time, I want you all to remember to have fun and keep gaming.